when I was on my road trip, before I left for it and, while I was on it, I was certain, okay, certain that I was going to find just a perfect place, just a perfect fucking utopia. And it's like, I'm not the kind of person who believes in utopia, like, even being a thing. Like, I know that it's not. I just thought I would find somewhere that once I got there, I would be like, this is it. This is the place. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I'm going to stay. I was certain I would find that place, like, and I didn't go into every town, like this is gonna be it, you know what I mean? I didn't go into every single place with like super high expectations of like, this is gonna be it and nothing can ever go wrong here and this is the perfect place in the world, and it's like, I didn't, I wasn't ever like that. There were some places where I was like excited to be, like Kingman and, these different kind of places where I was, I was excited to be there and everything, but I didn't go into those places thinking, this is the one place in the world that doesn't have any problems. And I'm going to be able to stay here forever. And this is the place for me. And it feels so good. And it feels so right. And it's just, this is it, I didn't go anywhere expecting that, So it's not like the whole thing was a series of disappointments upon disappointments. It's like, if that's not true, I mean, I can't say that there were any disappointments specifically, It wasn't that a series of disappointments led me into feeling as though there's no great place to be in the world. It wasn't that. It was just that everywhere I went, first of all, I didn't get there and feel like, oh my God, this is it. I didn't get there and feel that. And it's like even the places that I wanted to like, or even really kind of, there were one or two places that I actually expected to feel something. Not like this is it, but just something, I just got to each place and something would happen. Like I would, a lot of times I would be talking to somebody who lived there and then they would, mostly unsolicited for me, like, I can't really think of a time when I started this line of conversation, but it would go something like, well, I moved here from such and such place, and then I would be like, oh, really? And then I would, ask a version of the question, like, well, was it worth it? Was it worth relocating and coming here? And without fail, they all hesitated. Like, they all hesitated to say that it was worth it, to say that it was something worth doing, and it's like how so much is said without saying anything, and like you can just see it on people's faces, you can just see certain things on people's faces and their faces flash the whole story, really, with a few waves of emotion that come over them when you ask them a certain question, right? And that's the truth right there. That's the true response, right? And if you can read that, well, then you just got the response, but then the rational mind will kick in and say, oh, here's someone who seems interested in the concept of whether or not it was worth it, to come here, whether or not it's worth doing to come here and stay here. How do I answer this person's question? Because people generally want to be nice. Like, people don't just want to, like, dash your hopes and dreams against the rocks and be like, no, it fucking sucks, don't ever do it, or whatever, People want to be nice. People feel it because they can sympathize with you, right? Like, they were there once too. They wanted to come to that place once too and settle down there and relocate there, so they sympathize with you in that way. And they just don't want to, fuck up your dreams. So they'll just be like, there's that flash of truth over their face, and then they'll think, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, it was hard. Every one of them, didn't hesitate to say it was fucking hard, right? Which, what in life isn't hard, really? It's like, everything's hard. Especially like when you haven't done it before, or you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, sure, of course things are hard. It's like, we're not really talking about it being hard, right? Because nothing that is worth it in life comes without challenges, right? But it wasn't just that it was hard for them. There was something else. And for every one of them, there was something else, right? But what they were willing to say was that, it was hard, And they'd look at me, and then they would say, but you know what, you're young, you can do it. Just do it, just do it now, do it now, and it'll be easier just because you're young. Just go ahead. And, one lady even told me, she basically said, because she got to the point where she wanted to be honest, but she also didn't just want to just shit all over my fucking dream, right? And she basically says, hey, you know what? Go ahead, come on. We'll be friends. We'll suffer together. She didn't use those words verbatim, right? She said, she put it like nicer and more sunny, right? But that's essentially what she meant. That's basically what she meant. She meant, come on, you know what? Look, we'll suffer together. Like, if you want this, go ahead, come on, let's do it, and we'll fucking, that's basically what she meant. And then the other people, that I talked to, I just didn't get a fucking response from any of them that encouraged me to relocate to a place where when I got there, I was like, I mean, shouldn't I love this? Shouldn't this be great? Why do I not feel like that? And so I felt like that in the first place about it, but then I get these people telling me to do it, but not really meaning it, right? It's like none of these people seemed like this was like the ultimate fucking dream, None of these people seemed like they had come there, fought through the hardships of relocating, and then just found fucking nirvana, just found just like fucking paradise. It's fucking Valhalla, dude. After the hard fight, now we're in paradise. Now we're set up here. Now we have a place to live. Now we have a job. And now it's just paradise. And it's just like, I realized that's because that's not how they feel about it. That's because that's not what it is. That's because that's not what happens. Hold on to your hats, The truth of it is that there's no perfect place in the world. And it's like, no shit, of course there's not. Like, I never really thought there was. Like, I just thought I would find a place that had something to offer and that would make me feel better. Like, I thought I would find a place, get to the place, and then be like, I feel great. Suddenly I feel so good. Suddenly I feel some type of spark of life, But that's just not what happened. Instead of going out there and finding a perfect place, which is what I genuinely, honest to God, believed would happen. That's what I really thought. I thought I would find a place that would make me just be like, I want to stay here. I want to stay here. Instead of that, I came to the conclusion that basically, like, of course, with a few exceptions, there's some caveats. Like, it's not, general, total truth or anything, but basically there's no better place than any other place to be. It's like, and it's like, okay, so let me talk about what I know about. It's like, okay, the U.S. I feel like I know a little bit about Canada too. But there's no place that's better than any other place. It's like, as it pertains to living somewhere and everything that encompasses, your dwelling place, jobs, pastimes, whatever the case may be, it's like when you bring those elements into it, there's basically no place that's better than any other place. It's all the fucking same shit. When you're trying to do it that way, when you're trying to live in a house, live in an apartment, whatever, get a job, fucking, what do we do on the weekend? Let's go fucking climb a rock or something. It's like, when you play on that level, it's all the same. There is no difference anywhere you are. There's just not. I didn't find what I went out there looking to find, hoping to find, expecting to find. I didn't find that. What I found instead was a conclusion that is not very happy. It's not something that I wanted to feel or believe, It was an unexpected conclusion. A truly unexpected conclusion. It's like, you can see it in my Colorado vlogs, where I am, like, high on the wacky weed, because it's legal there. It's like, you can see in those videos that, well, particularly the last one, I think there was only like 2, I don't know, but you can see that I said everywhere is crap. I was saying everywhere is basically crap, and that was my realization. Like, that was the summary of my realization. That was me, staying in a hotel, gathering my thoughts and feelings about the experiences that I had had thus far, and determining, man, you know what? Like, let's take the rose-colored glasses off and be honest. Like, actually, everywhere's crap, Which sounds like a heinously angsty, like, it's like a bad attitude, and it sounds like a bad attitude. It sounds like a conclusion drawn out of a pissy, like, piss poor fucking attitude. But that's just me being honest. Like, that's me being honest, about what I genuinely, honest to God, freaking think. Based upon my experiences, like, based upon, everything I've seen, and people I've talked to, and this and that and the other thing. It's like, that's just how I felt about it. Like, that's just the conclusion I came to. And believe me, like, that is not what I expected. That's not what I expected. I thought I'd go out there, drive around maybe some town that I didn't even know about in Arizona or Utah or New Mexico or Colorado or wherever, like, I thought I would, drive through that town and be like, man, this is it, like, this is the place. It just never happened. I went through a handful of places that I can remember that I thought, this place feels good, but I never investigated it any deeper, because the places that I did kind of hang out in and investigate deeper, like, I always found something. I always found something that was like, what the fuck is this? And then, you go through a process of comparing those things to what you already know, you know, where you've already lived in various places in the world, you know, various states, various countries. You start a process of comparison and you say, well, shit, fire and save all the matches. Like, that place is, like, even worse than, you know, like, where I came from, or that one place that I lived at one time, or that one country I was in that one time. Because I've lived in U.S. and Canada. I've lived in several states, you know, and it's like, well, not several states, like 3 or 4 states, but whatever. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I have some experiences in a few different areas to compare these things to, and it's like, I just found that holy shit, I mean, to be honest with you, like, this is, like, even worse than this place or that place or whatever, you know. It's like, you know, I mean, it was shocking. It was fucking shocking, to be honest. It was just like, I mean, it honestly kind of hurt a little bit. Like, it honestly kind of hurt a little bit to, like, go to these places and just be disillusioned, you know, just disillusioned. You know, just like, again, not that I rolled into take Kingman, for example. It's not like I rolled into Kingman thinking, you know what, I've heard about Kingman. You know, I've seen some pictures of Kingman. And I know Kingman is the place. Kingman is the place. And I'm going to go in here and it's going to be the place and I know it. It's like, no, dude. I never approached it like that. I never approached any of the places I went to with that attitude. I never did, you know. I was excited to be there. It was cool to see it. But I never went to anywhere thinking, oh, this is it. And then, like, a series of unfortunate, you know, like, things, like, unfolded and left me feeling disillusioned. It wasn't like that. It was just that eventually on my travels, I came to the conclusion that everywhere has problems. And a lot of those problems are, like, worse than the places that I have lived. And, like, I ain't gonna deal with that, you know, like, for what? Because it's like, for what? You know, if I had gone to any of those places and thought, this right here is something to stick around for and fight hard for, and, this is something that it's worth, you know, the sacrifice, and it's like, it's worth, dealing with the bad element just to be here, you know. It's like, no, I never found that. I totally never found that. What I found was, oh, this place has, like, a bad element. It's got, like, a bad element that's worse than anywhere I've ever fucking been, as far as living there. And when I say bad element, like, I ain't even really even talking about necessarily what you might think that I'm talking about. You know, there's a lot that goes into my assessments of whether or not a place is the place, right? You go to these locales that are supposed to be so great. You know, I'm not even talking about a specific town. I'm talking about maybe, like, a specific part of a state, you know, that's got amazing scenery or something. You know, you go there and they've got signs saying, this place is great. Great place, America. You know? And yet there's cops hiding in the bushes. You know, there's, like, little cop stations, just camouflage, just bushes, you know. It's like, safe place, America. Great place, America. Nothing bad ever happens here, America. Look how pretty it is. Comma, America. It's like, then why are there camouflaged cop bushes everywhere? It's like if you went and you looked up, you know, Kingman. I don't know why I keep using Kingman as an example. Like, Kingman was never a place where I was like, oh yeah, this is it. You know what I mean? It was never, like, even, like, you know what I mean? It's just some place that I was excited to go to because whatever. Like, it wasn't ever, you know, I wasn't depending on Kingman to be the answer or anything. But I just use it as an example. You know, it's like, because, you know, it's near some of those areas in Arizona that are just, like, coveted. You know what I'm saying? Like Havasu City and, like, Lake Havasu City, and then, like, Lake Havasu is beautiful, it's a beautiful place. You would think, well, if anywhere's gonna be utopia, this is fucking it, you know what I'm saying? And no, it wasn't. It's not. It's fucking not. It's unbelievable, dude. Like, I know this sounds ridiculous. Like, I know I should have fucking known this. Like, I should have, like, what kind of fucking moronic shit is it to go around thinking that there's actually a perfect place in the world, or, like, not perfect, but just, like, good-ish or whatever. I don't know. It's like, it was just shocking to me to find that there's actually there's, like, no place out there that is actually worth the trouble of going there and, like, setting your life up there, like, there's no place that's worth the trouble of it. Because when you do that, you're fighting to be a part of the system. You're fighting to have your little apartment that costs, like, fucking $2,000 a month, that you're never in it, because you're out working 3 different jobs just so you can pay for that apartment. You're like, let's break the fucking chains. There's got to be another way to live. You know what I mean? If we were seeking another way to live, if we were seeking some kind of alternative, maybe the rules would be different. Maybe it would be a different game, a different reality, Maybe some places would be better. But as it stands, if you're looking to be in the system and play by the well-established rules of, let's get an apartment, or let's get a house, and let's get 5 different jobs, and let's fucking, go climb a rock on Saturday between the hours of 2 and 4 p.m. when we have, like, free time. It's like, yeah, that's the old system. That's the fucking failure system. That's the system that's making everybody just, their lives are just crap. That's what everybody feels fucking enslaved to. That's what everybody is in debt over. That's what everybody is, unable to fucking sleep at night, not only because their neighbors above them are banging around at all hours, but because they feel trapped. I mean, the way that I see it is that system is dead. Like, that system is, like, dead walking, It's like, it's not working anymore. It's not, like, making people happy anymore. It's not, And, the issue is just, what is the new way? Right? And that's, like, what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find, what is the new way? Like, what is the new way to live? That doesn't involve apartments and houses and, the conventional living that people do. It's, when you're in a house, you can sleep till noon because you can't hear anything. You can't hear anything. And if you have blackout curtains or something like that, it's like you can't see the daylight. It's like you're completely disconnected from the natural world, It's like, that's what living in an apartment or a house is. It's just completely just being disconnected from the outside world, from the natural world, And it's like, is that the goal? Right? Like, is that the goal? Is that what evolution has led us to? Or are we trying to, like, is the goal to be completely disconnected from the natural world? Because I don't think that sounds right. I don't think that sounds right. Do you think that sounds right? Is this where evolution has led us to? That we live in houses that are, climate controlled boxes, whether it be a house or an apartment or whatever it is. It's like a climate controlled box that you're sitting in as a piece of meat, rotting away. Is that where evolution led us to? Is that, like, the next step? Is that really like the answer after all these years of humanity being in existence? Like, climate control boxes? Really? I'm suspicious of that. I'm suspicious of that.